Hey, you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forge Lines Forever. Today I have a 3v3 ladder match here on the most amazing Neuroxis map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players, starting off with Red Team up here to the northeast, also known as Team 1, ending with Team 2, also known as Blue Team, down here in the southwest. Let's start off here with the Ruby Red player on Team 1. It is Nightblood going first land as a Seraphim. Very sensible choice for that faction, and he is a almost 1400. To the north, we have in orange, the color orange, an Aeon player of Cool McGurr going first land as an Aeon, and he is a 12 and a half, 1.2k player. And last but not least here for Team 1, we have the player of Mambo going first land in Chevy Crimson as a almost 1550, but he's actually at 1545 to be exact. Team 1, their racial makeup is 2 Cyberns on the front line with an Aeon in the rearguard air slot. Let's go ahead and introduce Team 2, starting off with the Royal Blue player of JJ Sheridan going first land, second air as a UEF, and he is a almost 1450. To his northwest, we have the Stitch Blue player of Gib going first land, second air as well. And again, he is a almost 1450. He's in Stitch Blue as an Aeon. And last but not least, there for Team 2 down here in the rearguard air slot, we have Sailor Moon going first land, second air as well. He is an Amethyst Purple, and he is a almost 1350. So for Team 2 side of things, we have 2 UEF and an Aeon player, and we have no Seraphim for this match. Apologies for those who love the Seraphim faction. I am particular to a decent amount of the units. Not all of them are my favorites, but I think most of them are very, very fun to watch and throw bombs out of shoots and stuff like that. But in terms of mass currently on the map, we have currently 1,850. That was a very big buildup for essentially not a whole lot. So our players are going to have to really rely on the mass on the map in terms of mass points, and of course building up those mass FAF farms and possibly getting in some RAS commanders. And in terms of mass point layout, really there's not a whole lot to be contested over. A lot of it's going to reside in Team 1 and Team 2's bases respectively. There's a couple of mexes that'll kind of be under threat on the fringes of both teams' main, kind of front lines. That's really about it. There's really not a whole lot to fight over. This center pond area will definitely be a huge point of contention. We already have 1 player on Team 1, and I would assume 1 on Team 2 at some point going into the Navy. And if you get some cruisers up here, get some battleships maybe even online, you could probably at least hit most of the other teams' main infrastructure. But again, we'll have to see if both players go, or both teams end up trying to just fight over it for the entire match, or one gets a decisive victory. But we have a Mech Marine with a Snoop going after some engineers, building some mass extractors. This one going to try to make it to the water, but unfortunately it will not get there. And those are the first casualties of this war for a war for control over this section of whatever planet these guys seem to be on. To the east, we have another set of Snoop and Mech Marine moving over, but the comm of Nightblood is nearby, notices they are inbound, shoots that Mech Marine, misses the Snoop, and then gets the Snoop with the next shot. Does look like the Snoop and Mech Marine are still under threat, are a tiny bit of a threat here for Team 1. We have a bomber over the top going after more engineers, denying the infrastructure and eco build-up here for Team 1's player of Nightblood. And this thing getting a decent amount of value out of it. 104 mass killed. Obviously, those are the 2 kills from those engineers. And it's just constantly trying to deny Team 1 just kind of expansion at this point in the game. Very early on at 4.5 minutes. At this time, it's very crucial for building up that early eco to start upgrading the T2 mexes, upgrading the T2 tech, and all of that sort of thing. We have the first upgrade on the cards here. It is gun, speed, and range going down here for the player of Nightblood. At the same time, Gib on the opposite side of the map is going for speed, and then he will go for range, as is typical for the Aeon commanders. We have a small group of Mantis fighting some Aurora. Aurora have the range in this conflict, and so these Mantis will have to retreat. does look like Team 2's being a little bit more defensive in terms of their, going after mexes and going after land control, just due to the or map control in this case, I should say. Just because there's not really a lot of mexes to go after. We're talking about maybe 6 that are really under contention. And that's really about it. So it's a lot of our players are going to be really focused on getting their eco up and getting that tech upgrade and maybe getting in and going after one of the main bases. We'll have to see how time plays out. Nobody on Team 2 has gone into the Navy as of yet. We do see a move from Gib to go for that, but 2 facilities almost online here for Team 1's Mambo, trying to get that nice advantage. A lot of map control could be gained by just holding Navy, and if you can deny your opponent Navy in this game, that's a huge section of the map under your control. We have Mantis pushing forward here to the northwest against some Aurora. Aurora have the range but don't have the hit points. Mantis don't have the range but have the hit points, and they're going to be swatted off here for now. It does look like Mambo is going to join his forces and then probably push forward with them, but 2 comms on this western side going after 1. We have the frontline player on the west and the rearguard air slot player of Sailor Moon, and really the player of Team 1 and Cool McGurr could be on the front lines assisting, but has decided to just eco up in his base, going for actually not even a T2 upgrade at 6 minutes. That's kind of rare. Usually you see at least an effort to do that. Actually, neither team doing that as of yet, which is very interesting. I don't see any. No one's building a T2 upgrade. That's kind of rare to just not even see it started. Usually it's started roughly at this point, so we'll see how that changes the pace of the game for now. We do have a couple of strikers getting into this group of mexes here next to the pond. A couple of Mantis are on their way to deal with them, but 2 of the 3 mexes are down. Will the player of JJ get the 3rd one? I think he will. I mean, it's not a lot of mass. 2 mass a second, 6 mass in total for that group, but the early eco, it really starts to, weigh on you. Team 1 looks like they were in the lead just barely, but now have fallen behind just due to that loss of 6 mass per second. Team 2 starting to just edge it out just a tiny, tiny bit. Team 1 has accrued more mass than Team 2, but that was due to the fact that they were in the lead for mass per second. The comm of JJ going for that mechs and then building a turret, a PD to assist in defense. Nice group of units here, shielding the incoming comm of Mambo from getting to the comm of Gib. He has the gun range and speed going for advanced range. That'll be the Aeon Sniper Commander for him. He just needs to get that shield, and he'll be very beefy to deal with. And especially in a 2v1 scenario, Gib does not want to lose this, especially at 36% completed, almost close to 40. That comm of Mambo has no gun upgrade. Has a 2v1 scenario in terms of comms. Has a decent-sized army behind him, but he's not using it. The Aurora are trying to stay at range the best they can. And Mambo, I mean, he knows they're sitting there. Really doesn't want to engage. I don't know. I don't think it's a good idea to do that. We even have those Aurora coming into the water just to kind of watch over what's going on. But all those units are diverting over here to deal with this frigate that is really causing a stir here for Sailor Moon here on... Actually, it's not Sailor Moon. This is Gib here on the western side. The frigate was constructed, but two players on Team 1 have decided to divert some attention to this facility. There is 2 subs online. Team 1's player of Mambo really wants to secure the water for himself. Mambo is in the water currently. Got a little bit singed, but he'll be fine for now. That upgrade on Gib does finish. Team 1 will be very hard-pressed to deal with that. Mambo is under threat once again, trying to just ride the edge of the water here, being, assailed from behind by the Aeon Sniper Commander. He will have to retreat in the water. Team 2 has lost all of their naval production for now. Looks like they're getting some torp launchers to help defend before building. But a possible run-by attempt has occurred here on the eastern side against Team 1's player of Nightblood. A couple of these strikers from the player of JJ do break through. A couple of Mantis en route to help assist, but they are not going to stop. This will cause Nightblood to at least retreat a little bit and have to divert his attention to more pressing matters. A couple of these Lobos have tried to go after this auto gun, and all the walls are down, which means the other tanks can shoot it very easily, but the T1 PD is still online. The artillery for T1 can outrange the T1 PD, so I don't know why JJ is throwing them in, but could be distracted with other movements. Does look like he's using all his forces to push northward. The more facilities are coming online here for Nightblood. He has T2 land. Team 1 has T2 air, and Mambo has T2 air as land as well. T2 land on line here for player of Gib to the west. We have Sailor Moon at T2 air, and I wouldn't be surprised to see T2. No, I don't. It's all T1. Maybe he's going to the front line to build it. No, he's just pumping out T1 units on this eastern side. Maybe he wants to just overwhelm his opponent and keep him distracted as long as possible. That's my guess. That striker finally killed off, but not really a whole lot of work was done by those units. You know, they could have focused a little bit more on taking out mechs or engineers, especially this decent-sized group right here. But again, the APM or micro could have been a little lacking just due to other pursuits here by JJ to the east. Now, Calm of Nightblood with that gun upgrade, trying to do his best by himself. There's really no forces to really fight with. It's just him, so he could be easily overwhelmed. We'll have to watch out for that. Calm of Mambo is still on the water hanging out, producing more facilities now in the middle of this pond, wanting to secure it the best he can. Those torp launchers were dealt with, or at least weren't even constructed at this point. We have just units kind of roaming around the map, and now units coming in from Cool McGurr using the floaty naughty technology of the Aeon for these Aurora, essentially pseudo naval units without having to build a naval structure, of course, just to help secure another section of the map, just wanting to prevent engineers from going after a naval facility. Gun speed and range going down here from Mambo in the water, but this is given a huge opportunity for Gib to push forward. He has a lot of units back here, but they're only T1. He needs a couple of those T2 Rhinos to help assist with defense. There is a cruiser in the mix, so Team 1 has T2 naval technology in the form of Mambo's cruisers. Maybe we'll see a Salem here shortly. It looks like he's going to do cruisers to lock out air for now. But that Aeon Sniper Commander is not letting up. He is pushing very far forward. He's at the, 12 o'clock position in terms of the pond area, and so he's really making his Calm work for it this game, or really making his opponent really work for it. And we have units diverted from Cool McGurr's front line down here, but a group of Spectre gunships are on call, and they will start focusing the Calm of Gib. Gib either gets to get into the water or get dying. It's get busy living to get busy dying here, but that cruiser in the water is going to make it very difficult. There are AA guns on that cruiser that can target ground units, so they're not as effective, but against shields they're pretty good. And Gib pushed way too far forward, and now he is feeling the effects of it. He only has T1 Thistles in the area, and he is down below 75% of his hit points, but we have interceptors coming in from JJ to help assist. That did not do a whole lot, and I think this might be the first kill of the game. We do have to the east, Nightblood is in the red, almost 1,000 hit points. JJ Sheridan trying to do his best, does not get the kill. He's being assailed from the east here by some rhinos. He will have to fall into the water as well. And does he get in there? Yes, he does. So both players on the eastern side are under the water for now. Let's go back here to Gib. Gib is in the yellow, sub 50% of his hit points. He's trying to retreat the best he can. More shields are on the way. There are some ascendants nearby, but the cruisers are trying to target them to prevent them from coming online nearby that commander, and it doesn't look like it'll really make a whole lot of difference. A couple of those gunships were killed off. Looks like Gib might escape to live another day, but that was very close. He will not make that risk a second time. This is Team 1's time to go after the commander, but they just don't have enough resources to do it. That Calm of JJ has come back out of the water, and those rhinos are still oppressing him. He's sub 3,000 hit points. Another rhino down. We have Scorchers over the top to help assist, and those mantis are killed off as well. Only has one rank of veterancy considering all the things he's been fighting, but still kind of deadlocked here on this eastern side here for both teams. Not really any forward momentum one way or the other. T3 air has been achieved by Cool Magura. Same for Team 2's player of Sailor Moon. And he's going for Strat Bomber. Very interesting play. I don't know who. I mean, he could go after Nightblood, but he's already back to 4,000. We do have Mambo here on the southwestern side of the pond, just going after some units sitting on the coastline here. Team 1 really starting to start to secure all edges of that pond area. He's even taken out a group of mechs here to the west, wanting to show his presence to his enemy. But a large force here for Team 2's player of Gib, massing with a decent amount of shields. And now, if he is correcting that mistake of no flak and no AA, really starting to just protect himself with any way possible. And there's a decent force up here to the north with a couple of T2 units in the mix as well here from Mambo. And looks like they're going to intercept or just kind of sit there and wait for those units to show up. There's really nothing to really defend here for Team 1 in this middle section. But the T3 Strat Bomber, the Ambassador, going after, I don't know what he's going after. There are some interceptors in the area. Bomb not going to drop. He's going after T2 Mechs. Fully ringed. That is a decent chunk of mass lost in that first bomb. He needs to kill at least 2 more to really make it worth it. Interceptors are on his tail. He's going to drop the second bomb on top of that P-Gen. Takes out both of those T2 P-Gens. Nice grab here by that Ambassador. Just deny some of that energy, almost down to negative. If it wasn't for that T3 P-Gen, definitely looking into a bad way. But JJ Sheridan goes down to Nightblood. There were 3 PD online with that comm. That's definitely a disappointment here for Team 2's player of JJ. Probably overextended a little bit more than he probably should have, especially with those PD. Even though those Cerberus don't do a lot of damage individually, it has got to hurt nonetheless. And of course, that P-Gen does go down. Cool Magura is suffering. He is negative on mass. Oh, he's starting to recover a little bit. But that second, third, fourth P-Gen is going down. Going after the comm directly. Oh, that has got to hurt. Looks like he slowed production. That T3 naval air facility is almost down. Oh, and that Ambassador does get... Oh, no, it does not get killed off. Going after Cool Magura directly. That'd be a great grab if Team 2's player of Sailor Moon would notice. That thing is at no hit points. And, man, this is just a huge win here by the air player of Team 2's Sailor Moon. There he goes. There he goes after. Takes out the engineers as well. That is T3 air locked for now for Team 1 when they lost the player on the eastern side here. Losing Team 2, really gaining an advantage in the air is a huge thing for them. And essentially, Cool Magura is knocked out of the match for now. He still has some mass, so he can rebuild. But that's going to take a while to really get back up there. He's really neutered his opponent here. The good play here from Sailor Moon for knocking out his mirror to the northeast. And at the same time, of course, we have that army to the west here for Gib pushing forward. Those units from Team 1's player Mambo have retreated. And it does look like this force is moving southward. There's really nothing to just stop them, and so they're just going to run over whatever's in the way. But Team 1 is making a land invasion to the southwest. Team 2 really has to deal with this. The combo Mambo is very far forward. Another Strat Bomber will start shooing him into the water. He will make it to the water, so he'll be fine, but that Strat Bomber up to the north just has to keep bombarding. I don't believe they want to knock out Cool Magura and give all those resources to Mambo, so they're just kind of holding off for now. What I would do is I would just try to lock any attempts. No, maybe not. No, he's going to go after him anyways. Okay, forget what I said. How's his eco and everything doing? Still has some energy, but really not a whole lot to him. He's sending some mass to Nightblade. He feels like the game is going to be over. Will that Ambassador drop that bomb? Yes, he will. And that is a kill here for Team 2's player of Sailor Moon. Dropping this game to a 2v2. Another Strat Bomber going after probably more mass in the back line. There it is, going after another T2 fully ringed Mechs. I was going to say P-Gen, but that is not a P-Gen. But forces from the player of Sailor Moon have actually cut off to the east. And they've started going after Nightblood's infrastructure, and Mechs is really just capitalizing on the fact that Team 1 really has nothing to defend from this western side. A huge hole opened up. They've lost air coverage for now. You know, they're going for T3 land, which is a good move, to be fair, going after that technology. But, I mean, when you can't defend, it's gotta really hurt that eco. And in terms of generated mass per second, Team 2 is ahead by about 60 mass or so per second, which is a decent chunk at 20 minutes. Team 1 has accrued more mass than them, but that number will slowly, you know, the distance will slowly close as time goes on, as long as the difference in eco per second does favor Team 2. Nano repair going down here for Nightblood, wants to get up those hit points. Does have, you know, that base is still kind of online. Hasn't really suffered too much. The forces here are being bombarded by these cruisers to the west, these sirens, and the loyalists will run over the rest of those blazes. But that is it for that push here by Gib. But just look at the devastation. Lots of units are dead, and almost an entire base is gone. Most of the mass is still there, to be fair, but I feel like that could have been a better play by Sailor Moon, was going after all the T2 mass points. There weren't really a lot of interceptors in the area for a decent while, so could have really done a huge number on Team 1's eco. But killing a player is, I don't know. There are some people that think you don't want to kill the player because it's full share. Some people want to say kill the player whenever you get the chance, kind of thing. It just depends on the situation. I feel like in this one, kind of a 50-50 split. I still would have gone after more of the eco. It would have taken a long time for Cool Magura to build back up the T3 air, so maybe should have waited on the kill. But again, that's a bird's eye view, not in the moment kind of situation. But T3 Harbinger is going to start pushing back against Mambo here on this beachside property here. More and more Siren-class cruisers being built up here by him as well. He really wants to lock out anything that Team 2 has in terms of air for just bombarding either his commander or his forces. Team 2's air grid starting to be built up nice and, quickly. We're at 22 minutes. Let me know in the comments down below who you think is going to currently win at the moment. It is 2v2. Team 2 is winning the eco game, but Team 1 is coming right back up real quickly. And in terms of map control, it's not 50-50. I'd say Team 1 has a little bit of an advantage. But again, that, it is a lot of open space for both teams, so it's map control is kind of fluid at this point. But again, if you liked the video so far, please give that thumbs up down below. And of course, while you're down below giving it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, it's a great time to do so. But a group of loyalists are going after eco. They haven't finished off this T2 mechs, but there is a broadsword in the air, and they will start being able to rip through those hit points on those loyalists. Still haven't killed the T2 mechs, but at least want to kill one of them. Yep, there they go. Now they're giving the orders to kill that one, and they'll probably go back and kill the other one before they die. And that's really about all the work they're going to get done. Taking out eco is always a good idea, and now it's, again, Team 1 is ahead, just barely, but being ahead could mean the difference between life or death. But Interceptor's trying to take out that broadsword, having no effect. There are ASF in the area, far superior fighters. Literally, they're called air superiority fighters for a reason. And there goes that loyalist. Team 1's attempts to create kind of a Normandy situation have been destroyed. But there are engineers on the case to build up more of those land facilities, and they're trying to just establish some sort of beachhead. It's really difficult because there are T2 clean cameras being built by Sailor Moon to just go away. No, this is our beach. Go away. It's kind of working, but, Team 1 does have that advantage. If they go T3, they will definitely have the advantage, but I don't see that happening for at least a couple of minutes. They are getting some destroyers online to help with this, water-based artillery bombardment against these forces coming in from the land. Mambo is trying to hold this western side. He's doing a decent job, but again, he's kind of split because either Team 1's player of Gip goes this way or he goes this way. And so he keeps, shuffling back and forth, and it's really hard to really get a group of units together because he either splits them and they all die, or one side dies because the army went north or south, or he goes all one side and doesn't judge correctly, and then units invade his base. So it's really hard to just judge where his opponent's going, at least for now. He needs at least a T2, intel installation online. Maybe go T3, build it up here on this upper plateau, cover the whole base, But it does look like Team 1's player Mambo has gone T3 air really quickly. We'll be able to start recovering in that regard pretty soon. Team 2 needs to not squander this advantage. They have a couple of ASF and gunships being built. That was a good grab by him by building some Ambassador T3 strategic bombers. But, you know, only one move isn't going to win a game, at least this early. Well, it depends. But usually one move does not win a game. Usually. At least this early. But we have Nightblood here just building a nice manufacturing base and front line, getting Cerberus, getting those oh shoot, what are they called? Oh, what is the artillery called? Oh shoot, I should know this. Not clean cameras, not miasma. Oh, I can't think of it off the top of my head. Am I gonna have to look it up? I'm gonna have to look it up. He doesn't have T2 on his comp. That's not helpful. There we go. It is Gunther's. Yep, see? I was like, it's on the tip of my tongue. I can't figure out what the name of it was, but remember that T2 Gunther's. Going for laser. Ooh, maybe he'll go for cloaking and he'll use it on the front line. At this point in the game, we should see an experimental being built at some point, at least at some progress, one or another. And since Team 1's both frontline players are in Cybran, actually remaining players are Cybran, we should be seeing a monkey pretty soon. We're seeing Harbingers fight bricks and some loyalists, but there's a lot to be desired from this army. It's all T2 Riptides, which Riptides aren't bad because, you know, they're amphibious, so they can float on the water, but you need the DPS to take out these bricks, and they really don't have it in this group with these Riptides. So one of them will fall, but the bricks have better range, more hit points, and they're targeting the T3 units first, which is what you should be doing, and then going after everything else. But it does look like that mech was destroyed by missile fire. Yep, missile fire down here. Yep, taking the second T2 mechs down. But those Riptides have broken off and are going after engineers right now, going after some build power. They're building some T1 PD to help assist. And those PD are decently effective against Riptides, but they are able to kill all 4 of those engineers, so that's gotta hurt as well. But the naval bombardment here to the west by Mambo, we have, what is that, 10? 9. We have 9 cruisers and a couple of destroyers. That is a huge force for Team 2 to deal with, especially because they don't really have anything to fight this with. And units sitting on the beachhead, not really the best idea, especially when they don't have range. Sniper bots can do a good job. They're taking out one of those destroyers, but not really going to work out necessarily in their favor if this continues to go in Mambo's direction. Hasn't gone T3 yet. He should to get those Galaxy classes online, but he could be working on other pursuits. And in terms of eco, we have Mambo at 225, Sailor Moon at 260, with Nightblood at 158 and Gib at 220. So Team 2 back in the lead for mass per second at almost a little over 100 per second. And still Team 1 in the lead for total mass recruit, but I don't see any sort of experimental from either team yet. And we have Aeon and... oh, okay, well they do have one started, a Galactic Colossus. So at least they're starting to get in that T4 stage of the game. But broadswords being used to take out T2 mechs is here, just deny Team 1's eco constantly. They're targeting Nightblood, which they view, I think, as the weaker player. I mean, ranking isn't everything in this game. It does show some skill, but you could be an 1800 that used to be a 2400. Like, it's not a 100% accurate representation of your skill level. But a decent amount of Team 1 AA trying to be built up. It is decently effective against gunships because they don't move very quickly. Against ASF, not so much. But we are seeing bouncers start to intermix Team 1's player of Mambo's army. And that broadsword is still alive. 21 kills on that thing. Has, you know, almost 3 ranks of veterancy, taking out another Mechs. That's the 3rd rank of veterancy. This thing might get to 4, but it won't. Because, oh, that ASF was killed off. Gonna get another T2 Mechs here. It was upgrading the T3. That'll be a huge grab. All that eco down the drain for upgrading. He can't get that back. Another one gone. And man, this gunship is really paying for itself right here. We are at Tier 5 ranks of veterancy for a T3 gunship broadsword. And if it goes after maybe a P-Gen or two, it will definitely be worth it. But it does look like AA is being built in the base. That gunship is taking hit after hit. It will not survive very much longer. It's going after another T2 Mechs. Will it get it? No, it won't. But that thing more than paid for itself. And that has given enough time for Sailor Moon to use his gunships down here to take out a huge number of naval forces. You know, we have a lot of sirens have disappeared. They've moved over here to the east, but the ones that were building up to the west, those destroyers and other cruisers have been taken out. It's a huge opportunity. If the sirens don't move, these gunships could go after that T2 naval headquarters, and that would be a huge grab by Team 2 to go after that production facility. And they are going for it. They're going to target the weaker one first and really just rip it to shreds. There goes the second one. That's their main target now. A couple of these gunships will die in this exchange, and a couple of frigates are brought in, but it doesn't really matter. Sailor Moon knew what he was doing. He was probably going to lose all those anyways, but being able to take out those naval facilities just kneecaps Mambo here in the water. Still has the group of sirens, but that's it. He has to rebuild back up to his facilities. So it's got to hurt. ASF coming to assist. It does look like Team 1's player of Nightblood has gotten into the air game as well with T3 air technology. So it's 2 players on Team 1 that have not AA, they have T3 air. Only 1 on Team 2. 1 out of 2 isn't bad, of course. But how is that Colossus doing? It's in the green. It's pretty close. The first experimental will be a Colossus, which is kind of rare, and at 32 minutes, which is also rare, especially with a game of Cybrans. You would think that the monkey would be on the field at some point, but I haven't seen it yet. I think it just goes to the fact that because they're playing with so few players, they can't divert all of their mass to one thing or another. And so they kind of have to split their pursuits between land and air, and in this case, sea here from Mambo. And my mouse is, again, currently dying at the moment, so I'm switching out. So apologies for not moving around the map. There we go. We have to the west a group of bricks with some assisting forces, but they're going to start running into units from the Aeon player of Gib. Well, it doesn't look like he's going to give the order yet, probably waiting for his Colossus. That thing is about ready to stand up. There goes his knees. It's starting to extend. I like watching these things stand up. It's very, very fun and very entertaining to watch. Zoom out just a tiny bit. There we go. His commander's in the distance watching his bigger brother just kind of take his first steps. There we goes. He has been completed. The first experimental of the game is built by Gib at 32.5 minutes. And Team 1's player of Nightblood just building up this nice base. And he's building a monkey as we speak, but it's going to take him a couple more minutes to finish that. Has a suits there, so you'll be able to see a huge amount of the map here. It's not a 20 by 20, of course. It's in that frame, but it's probably about a 13, maybe a 15 max. A 15 by 15 max. Biplane efforts here by Team 2's player of Sailor Moon to get a nice view on what's going on the other side of the map, but they're going to struggle. There's a lot of AA here. Nightblood is learning from his mistakes and building SAM sites everywhere to prevent any more gunship incursions. Still, Team 2 has not made any effort to go into the naval side of things, and another land incursion starting to occur here for Mambo. Once again, he wants that beachfront property, but just can't seem to just hold on to it long enough. Omni is online for both teams, so they have a nice kind of intel gathering operations for both sides. You can see the range on this thing. They can see almost everything. And it does look like Sailor Moon's is not as far forward as their opponent, so they have a little bit less of a view on that airbase in the rear. So needs to get it probably, I don't know, right on the edge of that beachfront property, but those incoming sirens are going to make that difficult. T2 Naval Headquarters has been built back once again, is going straight to T3. Going to build probably those galaxies, or maybe a strategic missile submarine, but Ras on the way here from Mambo wants to get his eco up. Still trailing behind in terms of mass for Team 1 cumulatively. Never say that word correctly. by about 100 mass. Nightblood has finished that monkey to the east. Does Team 2 have a response? They have a decent group of Titans and Perseus and Shield, so I like the group mixing. There's even... Is there AA in the mix here? No. I don't see any AA. Definitely a missed opportunity there. But there is a nice group of Perseus and Titans here as well, so that will definitely ward off that monkey for now. Would like to see at least some artillery installations built just to kind of help with that. Does look like that might be built at some point after they notice the monkey. I think the monkey has been spotted. Yep, there it is. The ping go down. The ping does go down. We have engineers just taxing these clink hammers to just kind of draw their attention, essentially. Because, you know, they're slow moving. They're not slowish moving units, but they're slow enough to where they can get shot. Just like that. Or the shots do miss. And so it does take a while for those clink hammers to reload. But a T3 strategic missile launcher has been built and almost completed the missile here for Team 2's player, Sailor Moon. Now, does Team 1 have a response to this? No, they do not. They've already primed the nuke location against Nightblood. Still targeting Nightblood. Jeez. He is just taking really rough time here in this game. It does look like that army from the player of Nightblood will go westward into the water and just cut across and probably go straight for this base, avoiding the army from Gib to the east. But Gib does send his forces in to come and assist because he knows what's coming. We have some sirens going to soften up that beachfront property for him. And that nuke will land. The SMD was just built and will just die because it was just built. That's got to suck. Luckily, SMDs are not super expensive, so they'll be able to build one pretty quickly. But there it goes. Kaboom. I want to say the ugliest nuke in the game. Not a big fan. Seraphim is the prettiest nuke in the game. Doesn't matter what you tell me. That's just how it is. The I don't know if the YOLO is prettier than like the regular COM or nuke explosion. That one I'd have to like look at side by side for a while to like kind of analyze. But I don't know. I feel like the kind of the flower that kind of forms with the Seraphim explosion is a lot prettier than just kind of a big, huge circle, essentially. Not a circle, but a big, huge, just blue fireball that forms. I don't know. The YOLO is very pretty to watch, though, to be fair. But that Monkey Lord using its long-range cannon to just kind of poke at his opponents. Does look like those shields are being used to get these Titans closer and closer, but the Titan just gets eviscerated. They need the Perseus with that high alpha damage. There are some clink hammers starting to fire, and the Galactic Colossus to the west are going after the Sirens. 3 of them are already killed. The monkey having to flee because of the incoming threat from that Colossus. Of course, the Perseus a little bit slower than their Titan compatriots, so it takes them a little bit of time to catch up. And Team 1 will still hold control of that water. They've held it for a very long time, you know, almost the entire game essentially, and they haven't really been able to capitalize on it. A lot of mass has been invested. The monkey will pop its head back out of the water, but it's going to be next to some Perseus. That is not going to look good. Laser is in range. The Perseus need to turn around. There they go. Lots of fire going down to that chassis for that monkey. Another salvo goes off. The monkey will have to retreat, dropping into the yellow. That Colossus really wants it. Bricks being shot by those clink hammers. We have now just gunships raiding everything here to the east. There is a lot of AA, of course, from Nightblood. Another SMD has been built and is loading as we speak. How's that second missile doing here to the south? Well, it is about halfway done. It's killed 64,000 mass with that first one, so a decent chunk of Team 1's infrastructure, specifically Nightblood's. He does have some RASCOMs on the field, so that'll help kind of, you know, boost up his eco a little bit. But really, Mambo's kind of been left alone in terms of infrastructure. He has a decent air grid going up here. He has a secondary T3 air headquarters, just in case this one dies, so very good on him for diversifying and decentralizing. He's building another SMD back here to protect this air facility. He has his comms still on the water. And now these broadswords are just kind of just culling the entire eastern side. This base has no energy. Nightblood really suffering. Starting to come back, though, so that's good to see that. And in terms of mass in the clip, it does look like Nightblood has a decent amount to build with still at 9.2 thousand. But in terms of total mass accrued, Team 1 has lost the lead, and now Team 2 owns it. Air Force is starting to be comparable between both teams. We have 63 versus Mambo's probably 78. Wow. He's really pumped out that Air Force. Really wants to grab control over air. I mean, and that's a good idea, too. Just try to get an advantage here. But T3 Galaxy class battleships in the water. Big fish, small pond. Nice bombardment. We also have a group of bricks here in the water just kind of hiding out. And there's that Colossus. Looks like it'll start targeting. Does look like that Galactic Colossus cannot... Oh, it can target a Mechs, I think, is what it's shooting at. Is that what it... No, it's just shooting at a unit. Okay. Now it's targeting the Mechs. Almost dead there. Stop. No, I don't want the mass fab panel online. How's that nuke doing? Well, it's kind of slowed down a little bit in terms of producing it. There is a Novax almost finished here for Team 2. That'll probably target the Navy, would be my guess. That monkey coming back out of the water supported by that Galaxy. More clean cameras have been built to kind of target the monkey specifically. And there goes the first salvo. It's regen some of its hit points. Does look like some of those bricks will receive the wrath of those clean cameras. And clean cameras are a decent counter to T2, T3 kind of battleship destroyers, but they need to be shielded to really be effective, and now the shield is being built. Second volley comes in, takes out another clean camera, and we'll take out a third clean camera and a couple of engineers. Does look like the last one does make it just barely. But that bombardment is kind of severe to be stuck under, especially with only one shield. It's not going to last very long, especially a T2-1 at that. Team 1 doesn't really have a counter to the nuke yet. Doesn't have a counter to much of anything. Just kind of, they're more reacting to what Team 2 is doing versus acting. They do have their own Colossus, so that's good, but it's back here. It's not going to do anything. You got to move it at least into the water so it's ready to be deployed. There goes that defense satellite. I think it is going to target those sirens. That would be my guess. Just try to eliminate the AA presence and then go after the Galaxy specifically. That'd be a good play, especially with all those... Oh, that's a heck of a lot of broadswords now here by Sailor Moon. That's probably his target. He wants to shoo them away and then bring in broadswords and eliminate it. This base is holding off for now, building another shield for more defensive capabilities. Truly trying to do what it can to just ward off that Galaxy, but so far it's not doing too great of a job. Do we have air, says Gib. It's kind of tied. I feel like if Team 2 is to engage on Team 1's territory, Team 2 automatically loses just because of all the AA. Team 2 kind of has some of that, but not really. They don't have as much as Team 1. But we do see that Colossus, who has traversed essentially the entire length of the map to come on this eastern side. The monkey and bricks moving to intercept, or at least kind of just get in his path. Shields have started to fall on those clink hammers. Where did that... Oh, nope, it's up here. What is it targeting? It's targeting bricks? Oh, it's targeting mass. So it did not go after the sirens. Interesting. That Galaxy class is all by its lonesome. A second one is being built back here, and there is... Sorry, a third one, and a second one's back here. It just seems like Team 2 is filling space with a bunch of units, which isn't a bad idea. But there goes the engineer. It's just kind of whipping its way around the map here. Colossus pushing forward against just engineers. And a second nuke has been launched. I mean, going for this base would be a nice grab. There is an SMD here. It is not loaded. There is a monkey nearby. That'd be a huge wound that Team 2 could open up. But it is going straight across the middle for the airbase. That SMD will not be loaded unless there's a nearby one that can hit it, which this one will be the closest. That one is loaded, but I think it's going to split the difference between the two SMDs. It does, and they've pinpointed that nuke to land right about here, if I remember. So most of the air grid will go down. The T3 naval air headquarters will go down. A lot of the mass will go down. A huge wound for Team 1 to suffer. Kaboom! Takes out everything except one T3P gen at 200 health. And all that core mass is gone. That is... Ooh, stab in the heart. That has got to hurt Mambo after he rebuilt that. That'll be a second time his teammates' push from Gib does not work out. This would have been a huge nuke to take out. The monkey does go down, but it's essentially just kind of a trade. In terms of reclaim, Team 1 gets the better end of the trade where, you know, essentially 10,000 for 14, almost 15,000. I'll take that trade any day. You lose 10 to gain 15. I mean, you don't lose 10. You drop 10. They drop 15. You scoop both of them up. So really, it's a net positive at the end of the day. But that's Novax is doing a lot of work just to clear out the rest of this northeastern base. And now Team 1, all they have is this air. I know they have a T3 air headquarters here, but there's not really any supporting factories. And look at all the mass that's gone. Look at all the exposed mass points. That's a lot of eco just gone. Team 2 skyrocketing with 350 more mass per second than their opponent. That's like game enders level of mass available to them at the... Oh, it's pretty close. It's not exact, but it's pretty close. A second one being built, a third one being primed as well. Another nuke already half loaded at 111,000 mass killed. Siren's still being annoying here to the west here for Mambo, and I feel like that's really all they have going for them is they have the Navy. That's it. They've lost they lost that one time. They gained it back. A third Galaxy class does appear, but again, these are big fish in small ponds. Like, they can only do so much. This is the range on these things. They can only go so far. A nuke here, strategic missile submarine, would be very opportune for Mambo to go after. Team 2 has one SMD here. They don't have anything in this space. They're building a Duca, or almost about to build a Duca as we speak. Building the shields first. I appreciate that. Second SMD back here. There isn't anything on this eastern side here for Gib. He has a Fat Boy. I mean, there is a lot of vulnerable targets for Team 1 to go after. They're just not doing that. Again, it's more of a... They are reacting to what is going on versus acting upon what they have. And this entire northeastern section is just gone. And mass points just being assassinated constantly. And it's really hard to shield every single mass point, especially when they're, it's just really hard to upkeep all of that. So Team 1 really has to do something and take out that Novax or shield every single Mechs, which that one's not going to happen. So it's more likely going to be just try to do what they can to just delay it or take it out, one of the two. And the way to do that would be with some nukes or game enders or T3 arty or something. More hives being built. Maybe they'll build something here. We are at 47 minutes here in the game. You have to have a plan to end the game. I'd say in 3v3, maybe you can delay it to like 35, maybe 40 minutes. But at that point, you should have a rough idea of, okay, how do I want to end this game? This is what my opponents have been doing. How's my intel coming? Do I need to spy plane more? That kind of thing. And that air grid still... it's not expanding, but it's still pumping out units constantly. Of course, they're pumping out Stone Anger missiles and Novaxes. If Team 2 gets probably 4 Novaxes online, that just might be game. You can just see one Novax is just decimated Team 1's eco. And Nightblood has just suffered a lot, of course, just because multiple nukes. They lost a player early on. So did Team 2. But Team 2 was a lot... They were able to recover a lot better and faster than Team 1 did. Just we have artillery wars over here to the east. Team 1 does have the better base here. So these will be killed off eventually. Group of just bricks kind of just roaming the map here on the eastern side. And just, again, it's big fish in small ponds. I mean, 4 Galaxy-class battleships, and they can't come onto land. I mean, I feel like at this point, maybe Mambo should just produce a bunch of T2 destroyers and just launch them at his enemy at this point. You're giving... The more time you spend not trying to, finish the game or win the game, the more time it gives Team 2 to build defenses, to build more units, to build their eco, to build essentially, game enders worth of Novaxes. Sailor Moon has built another experimental, that is that Novax finishing. That Nuke is slowly building. That Duke is being started. It is going to take a little bit of time, but we are at 50 minutes in the game. The match is a little bit over an hour. I think it's like an hour 10 or so, roughly around that. So we still got 20 more minutes in this game. At this point, Team 2, even though that Team 1 has more map control, Team 2 is definitely winning. I mean, they're winning in eco. They're winning in just look at how many units are on the field. They have 2 Novaxes completed and Nuke. They have a bunch of air and, gunships ready to go. Essentially, I think Team 2 is just biding their time until they win. At least I think that's maybe what they're feeling. Going, of course, the long-range artillery route. We have mass FAF farms going up here. We have more Colossi being built. They have a huge army to the west here with another Galactic Colossus, so that thing could easily just go. Team 1 does have their own Galactic Colossus with their own army. Wouldn't like to see those collide before the end of the game. But that Novax is now targeting... It's just ignoring Nightblood. Nightblood going for an upgrade. Don't know what he's going for. Maybe I'll look at the icon once he finishes. He didn't get rid of anything, so maybe going for cloaking. What did he go for? Okay, let me see the finished product. He is suffering a lot of hit point damage, though. I'm gonna build some shields around him. He went for teleporter. That's cloaking, not teleport. I was like, wait a second, what? He will be shielded for now. He will not be able to be targeted. Oh, never mind. No, they know where he is. Never mind. Oh, that's right, because the satellites have Omni on board, so that does not help with the whole cloaking thing. Will Nightblood be taken out by Novaxes? That will be very, very funny to watch. So far, no. We'll see. Those 4 those 4 Galaxy class battleships are in the water. They're trying to pummel that base in the distance. And again, big fish, small pond. This should probably be the name of the thumbnail. And those shields are coming back online. He has 33,000 hit points, 96 hit points a second, so he can rep up pretty quickly. Shields being upgraded. As 2 Novax is kind of hard to penetrate those shields, especially with them constantly being upgraded and having more capacity. And what's nice about when they upgrade is that they instantly regain the entire energy bar. So if you can time the upgrades correctly, you can actually make a shield last very long. As long as the shield doesn't I don't know if it was the shield loses its capacity and having to regen. If you upgrade it while it's regenning, it just instantly fills it. I haven't noticed that right now, but I do see a disruptor online. This could really bring back Team 1 in this game here for Nightblood. They need to target those Novaxes, and they need to target the air grid. I think the Novaxes first, but there's a decent amount of shielding online. The Nuke is here as well. T3 going on here for Sailor Moon. He has tele-defense online. Has actually a decent amount of tele-defense online. And is pumping out ASF, pumping out gunships. And now the artillery is online. What will it target? Don't know, but we'll have to see. More and more mass being assassinated as we speak. Man, just Team 1, they had a really good momentum early on. They killed a player here to the east. They lost their air player. That really slowed them down severely. Gave enough time for Team 2 to rebuild. Another nuke has been launched from its silos. This time going after this position. That SMD will knock it out, so that nuke will not land. They built a quantum gateway on beachfront property. That must have been an expensive summoner to build. But now the artillery is starting to unleash its volley on his opponent. It has a fully ringed P-Gen T3, so it will fire twice as fast. There it goes. That nuke will be shot down. There it goes. The artillery is targeting the Novaxes. Oh, it takes out some spy planes, but yeah, it is targeting the Novaxes. Feel like a couple more shields should be online. Have they switched targets? That must have just been a stray shot or something. Looks like they've switched targets a tiny bit. Maybe they're going after this one first. No, maybe they're going after the SM. Oh, I don't know what they're going after. Shots are kind of wild a little bit. That's the only T3 artillery online so far. The second one finishes here for Team 2. The first one for Team 2. The second one completed this game. It's a Duke. It's now targeting the Disruptor, and now it's just going to be an artillery war here pretty soon. Novaxes will assist in keeping the shields offline, so once they get killed off, or the shields lose their capacity, yep, see that shield instantly loses its emitter. The Disruptor has lost its shielding. All of the emitters are down. The shots from the Duke will come in, will not be impeded. The first P-Gen is still online. Novaxes will assist. The Calm of Nightblood, probably not the best place to stand. Gets a shield online. Novaxes should target the P-Gens, not the actual artillery itself, because you destroy the P-Gens, then a volatile explosion, then it kills it anyway. The artillery is still breaking through here for the Team 2 player of Gib. Shields are starting to come back online slowly. ASF fight over the top here for both teams. It does look like the ASF are targeting the gunships. Team 1 will suffer an air dominance loss. Team 2 owns the air now. Here come the gunships inbound for that Disruptor. And they're targeting the not they're targeting the ASF, they're targeting the AA. But the Disruptor hits the ASF and it takes out a huge chunk of them. They're targeting the RASCOMs for those volatile explosions, and now they're targeting the comm directly. They can see it with the Omni. Nightblood still trying to run away, and they're going to retask onto those RASCOMs though, and then go back. And man, this Nightblood has just been pummeled this game. Mambo will probably be the last man standing here for Team 1. Shields just trying to be spammed up as fast as they can. I don't think it's going to work, and there he goes. A second kill here for Team 2. It is now a 2v1 scenario. Mambo is the last man standing here for Team 1. Gunship's now just going to target all of those mexes. Nice try, says Cool McGurr. Yeah, it was a nice attempt. It's just you didn't have enough shielding, and Team 2 came in with their oppressive air force with those gunships and really just made a heck of a lot of difference. And now this firebase is under threat. The Gunthers are coming down. Those look like the Duke is assisting with that as well. Those shields will not be able to withstand a lot of firepower. But look at this. Look at all the stuff in the water. There's even a crab here for Team 1 as well, but they just weren't aggressive enough in terms of their turtleness, in terms of their defensive structures or, you know, artillery. They were offensive in the water game, but now we have a little guy named a Colossus. He's you can't shoot the laser in the water. Takes out one of those Galaxy Colossus, but that's gotta hurt. Just get killed off. Those Galaxies do have some torpedoes built in on them. I think almost a lot of units that the Cyberns have do have torpedoes built in, but these Galaxy are just going to sit here and just take it. You know, small fish, big pond, essentially. That's a nice view right there. Small fish, big fish, small pond. And there goes that laser. I mean, it's taken a while. You can just watch it. Like, look how long it takes one Colossus to take out some Galaxies. They are given the order to target it directly, but that's not going to go very well for those Galaxies. And now we're almost approaching that 1 hour mark. Team 2's player of Sailor Moon really pumping out T2 Torp Bombers. I think he wants to find that commander. Does he know where he is? No, he doesn't. But maybe he's going to target those Galaxies nonetheless. There's one more left standing. And oh, there's two more now. A couple of aircraft carriers pumping out air forces. Gunships on the approach here. These from the Whaler variety from the Cybern faction. We have, that's just a quantum gateway. Not quantum gateway, a quantum reactor. I don't see any other efforts. I think I'm going to speed it up just a little bit because there's really nothing else going on. I'll speed it up to 2. We have a crab incoming to this base against a bunch of units here from Team 2's player of Gib. Lots of Perseus, lots of Titans. Going to face off against some bricks, and of course that crab is going to have to run away, and a lot of its hit points are already gone due to artillery. Gunship's going to come in and assist. Perseus open up fire, kill that crab off. That Colossus still roaming the map here. We have torpedoes constantly launching against it. He wants to stick his head out, but trying to figure out the good place to do it. We have torp bombers going after the AA, and they kill all of them. Great job here by Sailor Moon to use those, I think, distributed orders to go after this. I think that's what that command's called. Taking out the first aircraft carrier. A lot of those storks will die, but they take out one of the 3 aircraft carriers. Artillery still raining in on this position. Lots of shields trying to be built up here by Mambo to just help shield his base. It's not going well. We have some more storks going after that Galaxy class battleship. That Colossus still roaming the waters, just trying to just walk around, have some fun down there, going for a nice dip. And a bunch of forces inbound to this old position here that has seen a lot more better days. We have Novaxes targeting quantum gateways to eliminate RASCOM gating in here for Team 1. We have more efforts to build more shielding around these mass extractors, but I don't see... Again, it's the whole Team 1 didn't really have a plan to end the game. How's the Novax production? Third one online, fourth one about half done. Another missile in the clip here for Team 2, and this is... I don't think it's not a total victory. They definitely had some struggles, but I think once the player of Cool McGurr went down, Team 1 couldn't really recover. They did a decent job, but was really struggling. Colossus will come in and just barge through the base. Shields going down. Cerberus being spammed up. The Colossus will go down, of course, targeting... Oh, that's good. Takes out everything there. And then maybe we'll take out that shield as well. We'll take out the shield as well. We have 3 Novaxes online going after Pigeons. Man, this has got to hurt. There goes one. They're just taking out anything and everything. How's the mass situation? Team 2 at 1.5k mass per second versus 765. We have a second artillery online. This time it's an emissary here from Gib as well. And it's targeting, just directly targeting mass. There goes that Mechs. It's going to die here. A Colossus is inbound to help assist. There's a lot of forces here from Team 2 and Team 1. The Colossus army that was to the northwest will start to engage. But that army here from the west with 2 Colossi now will just run over Mambo's base. Mambo building the teleporter. He has the laser. Another nuke will launch going after this position. There is no SMD nearby. That has got to hurt. There goes the conflict to the east. There's a fat boy in the mix. A lot of Perseus will die. That has got to hurt. That Colossus is falling very quickly just due to the oppressing firepower from the lasers and the Perseus. There it goes. The Colossus is down. The bomb the nuke goes off. Kaboom! Takes out that base. The old base that was once Mambo's. Mambo building teleporter, wanting to go out with a bang. Bricks coming in. The Bricks would probably like to get that fat boy, but they are not going to get close with all of this Percy blockage that they are experiencing. Is he building something? He is. Look at that. He's building some of those Cougars on his back. Look at that. Love to see that play out from UEF players. Targeting the last T3 air headquarters for Team 1. Mambo rebuilt it again. This base really suffered. Pigeon will go down. Facility will go down. Teleporter at 70%. Going to be another minute or so. But it doesn't really have a lot of power reserves for Mambo. He's really struggling. He's negative a heck of a lot. Still struggling. He's going to get some engineer support. Man, his entire everything is gone. He has really suffered this game. And Storks are inbound. The hordes of Storks are inbound to take out everything in this ocean that he has owned this entire game. Look at all the damage. These almost 2 get killed off in one pass. Broadswords brought in as well. Kill the rest of them. Teleporter is online. Gun gonna get done very quickly. Does Team 2 know his location? They can see a blip in the water. They probably assume it's something. Hold on, let's slow it down just so I don't miss anything. He's gonna pop out of the water. Probably not the best idea, honestly. I just don't want to miss if he gates away. A lot of the Storks have been eliminated, so they won't be able to use torpedoes. There's still more being built. Spy planes going out to kind of get a nice idea of where comms are. Both the comms for Team 2 are protected. Honestly, I would probably target Gib. He's next to a couple of P-gens. That would be a great grab. Probably gate in right here, I think. If I were to guess. There's a donut, because why not? There's a Czar. And another one being built as we speak. There he goes. Mambo gets his teleporter online. There's a defense satellite right next to him. Storks are targeting his commander directly. Taking some hit point damage. And you can just see, look at the map. He hardly sees anything left on the map. He has no vision except what he currently saw. He has his last air forces to see what's going on. He saw, and there he goes. He couldn't even get the teleport off just due to a bunch of Storks, those T2 Torp bombers from the UEF. And that is a win here by Team 2. Not a flawless victory due to the loss of JJ Sheridan. But man, did they come back. They were really suffering in the water. Their beachfront property was taken from them. It was a stalemate to the east, kind of back and forth to the northwest. That couple of strap bombers really just kind of cemented their lead for a little bit, and then they really cranked it up to 11 and pulled the win out for their team in honor of their fallen teammate of JJ Sheridan. And in terms of underrated player of the game, I'm going to have to give it to Sailor Moon. I mean, that strat snipe was just amazing. Took out a decent amount of mass on his way in, took out the whole air grid that was being built. Could have gone after some more mass before he killed the comp, but he still got the kill. Did a heck of a lot of work. Built a nuke, took out the base again, took out another base, just hammered it home. So I'm going to give the underrated player of the game award to Sailor Moon. He definitely deserved it, at least in my opinion, for this game. If I'm right or wrong, or you have anything else to say, let me know down in the comments. Please like it if you did find it enjoyable. And of course, if you haven't hit that sub button and you've been enjoying this one or my cast in particular, please, I would encourage you to do so. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see all of you in the next one.